Ho ho ho! Santa Tata is back with another video in the Vlogmas series of step-by-step Canada permanent residence process through express entry FSW. Oh, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. Basically, we're trying to see what are the steps to apply for permanent residency in Canada. And today is Vlogmas Day 3. The first day we talked about checking your eligibility. The second day we talked about taking a language test. And today we are going to talk about the education credential assessment. So basically, what we're going to do is go to our site, the one that we love, the one we know and love, and say ECA. Oh my god, where's the L coming from? ECA for express entry. Thank you. So back to the same site. This is the only site that we use, canada.ca. Everything we need is in there. We don't need to go anywhere else. So all right, so for ECA, you need to do that to verify that your foreign degree or diploma is valid and equal to a Canadian one. So if you did your education in Canada, you don't need to do this. But just in case you did not do your education in Canada, just like the rest of us peasants, you need to do an ECA. So there are different ECAs. You need to get one for immigration purposes. So unless your ECA writes that you are doing it for, reads that you're doing it for immigration purposes, then it's going to be difficult. And if you have another type, then you need to get it reissued. So when you're submitting your express entry profile, you need two things. One, you need the IELTS. Two, you need the ECA. So those are the two things that you actually need for you to create your profile. So if you're in a regulated job, like let's say you're a doctor or whatever, then you need to actually get certified through a different body. But let's talk right now about the normal bodies that give these ECAs, like the ones that are actually certified. Before that, let's go to who needs one. Okay. So, like I mentioned before, if you did your education out of the country, out of Canada, then you need one. If you did here in Canada, then you don't need one. But also you need to be assessed your highest level of education. So here I've noticed that they don't really emphasize on degrees. It's going to help you get more points, but like if you have high school diploma, get assessed for that. You don't need to have a degree to have assessed. You just need an ECA report that says you finished your high school. You might be getting your points from somewhere else, so you don't need to have had a degree. It's more advantageous to get in terms of points that we talked about in the first video, but you can get assessed for your highest level of education, whatever it is. If you have a master's degree, there's no need for you to get assessed for your bachelor's. Exactly. So if you have two or more credentials, you need to assess for one, whichever one you think is more advantageous. Yeah, so you can get your secondary credential assessed. This will get you points for completing secondary school. So you actually need to get assessed no matter what your level of education is. Moving on, how to get one. So there are designated bodies or organizations that do this. So for physicians and for pharmacists, you have to do this completely different. For the designated organizations that are used, that are used to do this. There's comparative. Ooh, child. Comparative education services. This is done by the University of Toronto. Then International Credential Assessment Service, World Education Services, International Qualification Assessment Services, International Credential Evaluation Services. And they'll give you a report that tells you what your education is equal to Canada. For some of your universities, your bachelor's is going to be your bachelor's, your master's is going to be your master's. For some universities, your master's is going to be a bachelor's, your bachelor's is going to be a diploma. But yeah, they're very professional. As long as your uni is a proper uni, you shouldn't have any problems getting the qualification that you are actually qualified for. And then the same goes for professional bodies, physicians, and pharmacists. They have other things. They have other bodies, like the Medical Council of Canada is the one that does for physicians, and I don't know, it's also different for pharmacists because these are regulated professionals. But if you're just like regular John Paul, like myself, then you're going to need to use one of these. So there's 5, yeah. God, I've used the World Education Services. I recommend them. I've not used this other 4, but being in forums with other people who were going through this process, I had people crying that some of these organizations, they take time, and also they don't give you the qualification that you got, like they should change you or something. I'm not going to speak on that and naming names because I don't know who did what, and I did mine with the World Education Services, and it was pretty simple. Let's see here, view a simple, so this is how it would look like. It will just tell you oh my gosh, what am I saying? It will just tell you what the equivalency of your credential is, and that's that. So for this World Education Services, let's see. I always want to talk about money, hey? Where's ACA cost? Let's talk about money, baby. Let's talk about how much it is. Right. So for evaluation for immigration, remember they say that you have to indicate that this is for immigration. If you're doing this for education, you have to click education. But here we're talking about immigrating as permanent resident. If you have any other evaluations that show that you're looking for employment or professional license, that's not going to cut it. You need an immigration one, and yeah, this is what comes out. So when it comes to services, they say that they evaluate within 30 business days. I've seen it and it works, and especially these days, pre-COVID, when I did it, it was so the process, sorry, I'm jumping the gun here. The process of actually doing this is you go to your college, to your university, to your high school, and tell them that you would like them to send your transcript for assessment. You cannot send them yourself. It has to be by your institution to them. So basically, the email that's now, before that, they used to do through the paper. So your university will send it through DHL. They'll give you a sealed envelope of your transcript, of a copy of your transcript, and then you would send it through DHL. But COVID, man, I hate COVID, but it kind of made things easier in some aspects of life. So during COVID and after COVID, your institution can now even send your transcripts through email. Yes. So um within, so you pay your institution. So now it depends, it really depends with how your institution does things. I know institutions that make you pay $45, the institutions that make you pay $90, the institutions just to send your report. It's not going to be free from your institution, so you have to pay that as well. If somebody is taking notes of how much things cost, that would be great. I'm not going to do like a cost video. This is just the process. I don't want to scare you with prices, but it is still our reality. So you need to pay your school to send. After you pay your school to send, then first you need to create your account here with West. Sorry guys, first you need to create your account with West. When you create your account with West, they'll give you a number, like a reference number. So when your school is sending, they should take that reference number to know whose assessment this is going to be. Trust me, there are many people who are doing the assessments, they do not want to be in their countries anymore. There's a search for another, greener pastures, whether it's actually green or white with snow. That's a story for another day, but people are leaving. So you might want to do this. Some people say that they want to do their evaluations before you do IELTS. For the reasons that I mentioned in the last video, I prefer to do IELTS before, so that you see if this is actually something that you can do. If you're failing your IELTS, I want to say you have no business. You have no business doing this express entry, but I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say if you need more time to do your IELTS, then take that time, be serious before you go and spend more money on this. If you're confident, if you know that you're going to pass, then you might as well start with your evaluations, because they take longer. Or you can do it simultaneously, as long as you're good for it. The world, your aliesta. So yeah, so you need to pay 240 Canadian dollars for this. Let's see how much it is in US dollars. Canadian dollars to USD. Canadian 240. That's 175 US dollars. Yo, that's how much you need to do the ECA. That's how much you need. So they have a 30 business day turnaround time, and yes, that is what's you need to know about this credential. Of course, it's going to be different from body to body. Like I said, I did worse, and that's the one that I did. And well, your report should be valid. I think they give a 5-year validity. So if you did one in 2019, it's not going to cut it. I don't know when. I can't believe how long has 2019 been. Anyway, it should be within 5 years. So yeah, the higher your education is. Hey baby, hi, how was work?
I thought you were doing video.
I am sorry. Yeah, so I was about to conclude anyway. So that is it. The higher your points, the higher your education, then the more points that you're gonna get. Before I conclude, I would like to say, if you're enjoying those videos, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know what you're thinking about the process so far, if it's something that you're thinking about, if you have any questions that you think I should cover during the series, or it's any time at all, please feel free. You can always reach out to me on Instagram, same username, tata_living. So without further ado, and because my baby is home, bye.